Hello everyone. This podcast today is really looking about the problems of gaming and gambling, which a lot of young people and adults struggle with. It's something that a lot of us enjoy, but there's a lot of risks and a lot of issues we often come across that really creates our mental health problems. So there's a real risk to our mental health with the problems around gaming and gambling, even though they can be quite fun pastimes for us. Because gambling has become very compulsive to many people, and it's triggered a lot of anxiety, stress, and mood disorders, which often include depression due to their feelings of hopelessness, because they're being unable to stop the gambling when they want to, and further issues cause personality disorders. Also, it affects self-confidence and self-esteem, because you start to feel very low self-worth if you feel you're not achieving what you want to achieve online. So being addicted to gambling can change what we call the chemistry in our brains, and it then reinforces this compulsive behaviour and make it more difficult to stop. So what are the signs and symptoms of gambling that has become very compulsive for many people? Well, it's about always planning gambling activities and thinking how to get more gambling money, but hardly thinking about anything else at the time. So you're just fixed on this one thing of trying to get more money. And obviously increasing the amounts of money to gamble with to get the same excitement each time you gamble. So it's like an adrenaline rush for many people. And they try unsuccessfully to stop or control the amount of gambling they do. And using gambling as a way of helping you to escape from some of the problems, stresses and worries of life, to get rid maybe of the feelings of helplessness, guilt, depression and anxiety which you're struggling with. And gambling can often be seen as an attempt to try and get money back that you've previously lost. There's always the temptation, isn't there, to think that I'm going to get this back in the end, but then you find the more times you try, the more into debt you become. And of course, there's a lot of shame around gambling when you feel you're addicted to it. And you want to try and hide this from your mates or your family or from other people. And there's a risk of loss, a great risk of loss of important relationships, of friends, or possibility of opportunities at school, university. You may end up losing your job, losing your family, losing opportunities for promotion, because you become, your life becomes very isolated with the addiction of gambling. That's all you tend to think about, maybe 24/7 or more than you should anyway. And you may also ask other people to help you out financially, just this once and I'll pay you back. But you know that you won't be able to possibly pay them back as you gambled away your money more than once. There are some gamblers who do actually stop when they realise they're losing money. They have the willpower to stop or to limit how much they're willing to lose. However, people with a problem of compulsive gambling feel they must continue in order to try and get back money they've lost. So then it becomes a pattern and becomes quite destructive for the rest of their lives. And over a long period of time, it builds up lots of issues around their mental health. So in order to cope with the loss of money and find money to continue to gamble, some people turn to theft and fraud. So you can see the destructive pattern that it creates, which allows people to turn to other crime to be able to cope with this problem. For some people, they are able to have a period of time when they do actually stop. But this is usually not permanent, and without some help from counselling or from a gambling help organisation. So when do we need to see a doctor because of our mental health issues regarding the problems of gambling? Well, you may be living in denial. You may not realise that you have a problem, because denying that you have is a common feature of compulsive or any addictive behaviour, whether it's gambling, drugs, alcohol, whatever it is. So the question to ask yourself is, have friends or members of my family or people at work shown concern about my gambling? Now, I just want to talk about gaming as well, which a lot of young people are involved with, and they see it as a way not only to enjoy having fun with friends online, but an escape from the everyday routine that they're living through. So with gaming, it can help you find a balance between online and offline life in order to look after your mental health and your general well-being. So it has a positive side to it. So regularly putting some time aside to do something offline, something special, is important if you're going to be able to enjoy your gaming and have it a fun part of your life. So it's important, isn't it, to spend time going for a walk, a run, play football, tennis, or whatever sport you're interested in, or doing something creative, but something to get you outdoors, away from the laptops and the computers. And that obviously depends on whether the weather's okay. Because if you don't do any exercises where you are, then you are constantly focused online, and as we said, it does affect your health in different ways. But doing some relaxation techniques, going for a walk, as I've said, going out with a friend, but make sure that you take regular breaks from your gaming is important. And it will also help you not to put strain on your eyes, and be aware that using screens in the evening can often affect your sleep, especially if you are going to bed straight after you've been online. You know, we're told by the experts that little blue light does affect us, and we're not able to switch off when we go to bed from being on the laptop or social media for some period of time. Make sure that you drink enough water, eat enough, and get a good night's sleep. And be aware of the amount of money you're spending, as I said before, whilst gaming, as some people spend more money thinking it will make them feel better, and in the end it may lead obviously to debt, just like gambling can do. And I'd like to just make a warning sign here, and that is that if you come across something while gaming that makes you feel upset, tell yourself it's okay to exit the game, and then try and do something to distract yourself so that you're not tempted to go back again. Should you find that gaming is affecting your mental health, as I said, in a negative way, it's good to take a break, but also tell somebody you trust about the problem that you're having, because this is important that you don't bottle up your worries and your emotions. And regarding privacy settings, it's good, isn't it, to avoid posting your personal details online, like your address or phone number. this is all common sense. You should be able to review and change your privacy settings for any online account. So there are guidelines there to help us. So the warning signs to gaming. Well, the things to look out for and to look after yourself around are be careful about feeling exhausted and struggling to concentrate in school, university, work or college, because that's a sign that your gaming interest is getting out of hand. It's when it takes priority over sleeping, eating, washing and looking after yourself. And as I've said, finding your relationships with other people difficult, and you get very negative about doing anything else. And this also can lead to people finding it very hard to talk or think about anything else, because the feelings and the behaviour from the addictive nature of gaming and gambling can leave you feeling very low mood, depressed, anxious, angry or isolated. But I don't want to be negative all the time about gambling and gaming. There are some very positives to these things, because they can help you relax and unwind, as we've said, after a very stressful day. Can help you take a break from your regular day-to-day, weekly routines. Can help you make new friends, especially if you're a shy person and you find it difficult to make relationships and talk to people face to face. It can help you feel more relaxed online. You might find people with common interests, especially if you're feeling lonely, people to link up with, to meet up with, as long as you follow the danger signs and be aware of those and follow the guidelines. And you might find groups of people going through similar issues to you, so you can help each other. And then finally, you can get a sense of achievement and perhaps learn some new skills when you're involved in gaming. So having negative experiences online, getting negative messages about your identity is something you need to be aware of. Dangers around your ethnicity and sexuality can be represented in a value online or an online game, and that's what you need to be careful about. So you need to find games that help you feel good about yourself. That's what we're really saying. And then I'd like to talk briefly about how counselling can help you. Well, there's different kinds of counselling that you can find that may help you. There's cognitive behavioural therapy. This is a kind of counselling that will help you identify and change your thinking patterns. It can help you feel better about yourself, more positive, challenge your negative thinking and help you to develop healthier behaviours. There's something also called motivational interviewing, which counsellors may do with you. And that's about helping you to find your own reasons to change, to focus on what we call change talk through techniques like looking at life before gambling and identifying the strengths you had and why you've had to turn to gambling to find something more in your life that's missing. So what we're really saying is, when you are able to get gambling under control or you stop doing it, there is a gap and you need to fill it with something else in your life. And also this, what we call desensitization. So what that means is exposing yourself to the triggers that create problems for you to become addicted to gambling. But counselling can help you to do this in a safe environment where you feel you can trust a professional adult to work with you. And of course, mindfulness is very helpful. It teaches us skills to manage urges and distress in our lives without acting on them. Focusing on values in the present moment, and to become aware of our feelings and thoughts. So, practical tools to help yourself. Well, the ways you can help yourself is obviously by setting some goals, creating small rewarding steps towards some change, and you might need a counsellor to help you do that. Something else called self-exclusion. What do I mean by that? It means blocking access to gaming sites and venues if you find that you just cannot cope and you cannot help yourself. Relapse prevention is about developing strategies to cope with the urges and managing the triggers that make you feel that you've just got to gamble or do some gaming at the expense of going to sleep, having food, relationships, work, and it's taking over the whole of your life. Alternative activities, as I've said before, that is the thing that really is important, to encouraging healthy ways to relax and refocus your energy, like exercise and hobbies. Because as we've said, the gaming and the gambling addiction takes up the time of relationships with other people, sleep, eating healthily, exercise, and neglecting other parts of your life. So finally, where can you find help if you find you have got a gambling addiction? Well, one of the best organisations is the National Gambling Helpline. It's run by CamCare. It's open 7 days a week and 24 hours a day. The phone number is 0808 8020 133. There's also other organisations that are helpful, like Gamblers Anonymous, GamLearn, and Gamble Aware, which you may have heard of. All these numbers are online and they're there to help you if your gaming and gambling lifestyle has got out of control. I hope some of this podcast has been helpful to you, and I look forward to talking to you again in the future. Thanks. Take care. Bye for now.